Hello, folks. This is Detroit Miracle, and I'm coming back to you. Yes, and indeed, this particular topic will be about life longevity. We'll call it that. Okay, some might wonder, well, what do you mean about life longevity? I mean, how long something is meant to live, how long it in fact lives, and when it doesn't, in fact, or what particular timeline can you place on a thing of life? And I mean, living things that are not necessarily only human, but rather of many species, as well as plants, trees, and microscopic creatures that you would need a magnifying glass or more to see. Yeah, I mean, life in general. You know, there are people that would ask about the fountain of youth. They're like, what is the fountain of youth to remain young, healthy, and pleasant for a much more longer, prolonged period? Hey, if they were asking me of advice, I would say, look, examine all of the living creatures, beings, and things that live a certain amount of time, and then examine the living beings, persons, and things that live the longest. And I would say, take all of that information from all the species, beings, and things and determine what is the fountain of youth in that, because obviously everything can be broken down and described. Everything has elements. Everything is a particular thing in the definitive. Like, there's not anything of the known that you cannot define. Yeah, people. So it's easy. What they say, trees are millions of years old. So what makes a tree live a continued prolonged period of time, I would say, is in the tree. Like, break the tree up, analyze it, examine it, study it, and figure out everything that goes into it. I'm sure they can retrofit some kind of toxin, tonic, or shot that can be obviously stuck into people, persons, and things that will prolong their lives based on what keeps a tree living. You could do, a tree is relatively safe nature, and many forms of plants can be eaten. So, find a tree that's not poisonous and toxinous, extrapolate all the information that you can gain from it, examine it thoroughly, and then figure out what prolongs the trees as long as it does. And it's simple as that. Then you go, and it has to be with living creatures. You can't use necessarily things that you can't grow or not that are born. So you have to use born things, grown things, cultivated things of a plant nature, then determine the lifespans of those such things. Now, the fountain of youth is there, it's around, and sometimes it's in plain sight. You need only look into matters, and then, you'll be able to piece things together. And I'm sure it takes a little bit more than that to uncover the fountain of youth, but that is probably a part of the whole process. It's a part of the thing. There are other things like, that you gotta come up with injections and shots that could make you impervious to flus, diseases, and other hazards that would affect your bodily like that. Hey, it's like, if you look at all the medical institutions, you would think that they are very close to a breakthrough to discover a way to prolong life in people, persons, and things for hundreds of years in addition. Like, why shouldn't people live to be 500 or 600 years youthful And even more than that, if life permits, and life did permit them life, so why wouldn't it permit them the opportunity to prolong their own lives? Ask yourself that. Well, folks, I'm sort of in a medical scientific mood right now. Yeah, and I'm trying to get you to think as I do regarding things such as this. If something is worth preserving, if it's worth protecting, then it's certainly worth keeping, and that such thing as life. So figure out as many ways to stick around as you possibly can and live healthy, youthful, and relatively disease-free and clear. If you have a say-so in the matter, you should want to do that for the sake of your very own progress. Yeah, people. All these medical types of industries are set in place partly to make money and provide careers. Remember that. So it's up to individuals to find and discover on their own new life remedies and methods to preserve that very thing. All right, folks, I'm glad you enjoyed. Well, I hope you did. So I'd appreciate it if you would give me those likes, comments, and please subscribe to Detroit Miracle. Peace out.